Alright, so our topic's over emergency action plans. I'm Jackson.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're going to start with a quick video.
Alright, this is a form indemnifying me from your use of Leonard's bedroom. Sign here indicating that I tried to stop you and did so using a stern facial expression.
Good night, children.
Wait, not yet. We still have to go over safety procedures. Now, the apartment has 3 emergency exits located here, here, and here. In the event of a power outage, luminous paint will guide you to the nearest exit.
You're kidding.
I never kid about safety.
There we go. So what is an emergency action plan? An emergency action plan is a written document required by OSHA. It is used to facilitate and organize an employer and employee actions during a workplace emergency. And the thing that should be included, it should address any possible emergency situations an employer may expect. So basically any type of tornado, fire drill, some meltdown, whatever. This is basically shows the employees and everybody what to do in that type of situation.
So elements of an emergency action plan, you have a response team, escape routes, medical duties, shutdown procedures, alarm systems, drills, reporting procedures, accounting procedures, and floor plans and work maps.
So why do we need emergency action plans, or why are they important? So emergencies happen every single day, and most are very unpredictable, so it's good to make sure that we are trained and know what to do when these unpredictable situations happen. And all employees, like I said, must be prepared on how to properly react when an emergency happens, because not being react can make the possibility for an injury or something like that way more than it would be if there was a plan in place.
So for the different types of emergencies, these are the 3 most common: a medical, fire, or chemical emergency, but there's also personal threat emergencies, internal, external, bomb threats, evacuation, fire, smoke, all kinds.
And then another part of emergency action plan is having an emergency response team. Your person can start with the first person on the scene. Their job is to take protective measures and then notify the supervisor or incident commanders when the emergency is taking place. And then the incident commanders, there are, looks like a couple of them, so they need to activate medical response, evaluate the situation, communicate the situation, and then clean up operations.
And it's the first person on the scene. They act as the incident commander until the actual designated incident commander arrives on the scene. And here we have another quick video.
The most effective way to respond to any emergency is to prepare for it before it even happens. Very few people have the ability to remain calm and think clearly in a crisis, so it is important to do so in advance when you have the time to adequately plan for a wide array of workplace emergency scenarios. Any unforeseen situation that threatens your employees, customers, or the public, disrupts or shuts down your operations, or causes physical or environmental damage is considered a workplace emergency. They can include natural disasters like floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes, or man-made disasters like fires, chemical spills, explosions, and outbreaks of workplace violence. When developing your own workplace emergency action plan, outline what situations would require a mandatory evacuation of your workplace. Establish a clear chain of command, specifying exactly who is authorized to order a facility-wide evacuation or shutdown. Post specific evacuation procedures, including routes and exits, where they are easily accessible to all employees. Ensure that evacuation routes and emergency exits are clearly marked, well lit, and unobstructed at all times. Make plans to help assist the injured or disabled during an emergency. And lastly, develop a system of accounting for personnel following an evacuation. To ensure the fastest, most accurate accounting of your employees, designate assembly areas where employees should gather after evacuating. Take a head count at the assembly area. Identify the names and last known locations of anyone not accounted for and pass them on to the official in charge. Account for all visitors to your facility, including customers and suppliers, and establish procedures for expanding the evacuation in case the incident worsens. Once your employees have been properly trained on your workplace emergency action plan, it is a good idea to hold frequent practice drills to ensure that your employees are sufficiently prepared. When possible, include outside resources such as police and fire departments. After each drill, gather management and employees together to evaluate the drill's effectiveness. Identify your evacuation plan's strengths and weaknesses, and if necessary, take concrete steps to improve it. Seton has everything you need to develop a complete.
So now we're going to go into a little bit about fire protection and what to do in that scenario. So as soon as you find or come across a fire, you should immediately pull a fire alarm and evacuate. You want to leave everything behind. Don't take anything with you. Just worry about getting out of the building and staying safe and helping those who may be handicapped or need help, assistance getting out of the building. And you also want to call 911 and give them your name, address, and the location of the fire inside the building.
All right, now we're going to talk about the evacuation. The first thing you're going to want to do when in an evacuation is to get to a near exit that is free from hazards. Then you're going to close all doors behind you when exiting after all people have been exited outside the building. Then you want to assemble at the coordinated meeting place that should already be coordinated before the emergency. Then account for all employees, and then you want to wait to re-enter the building until all authorities say that it's clear.
So here's just something I found. I thought it was neat and kind of helpful in remembering some evacuation tips. It's called the race evacuation method. For the R, remove all people in danger. A, always pull the fire alarm and call 911. For C, contain the fire by closing doors and windows. And E is for extinguish the fire if you're trained and if possible.
And then another part is notification systems. So it looks like there are usually two types. The first is a public address system, or PA, and then the other is just a regular alarm pull system. And when you pull it, I guess it's a good thing to say fire or call out fire, so other people around you know what's going on.
So for the exit routes, everyone needs to be aware of at least two ways to exit the building. And all exit ways need to be clear and obstructed and free from any hazards that would prevent anybody from getting out of the building. This is just an example of a floor plan. All the exits are clear. They show you ways to get out. There's a handicap exit that shows that. And then you obviously have the assembly area that is designated.
Another part is exit doors. So one thing with all exit doors, they all need to be labeled, and then any signs need to be illuminated with some type of light. Exit doors must be clearly visible and easily accessed to everyone, and then any non-exit door must be properly labeled as such so people don't think it's an emergency exit. And then now we're gonna hand out the emergency exit plan post-test. So we'll just go through one by one. So the first question is, what is a EAP? And the answers are emergency action PANS, emergency action principles, emergency action podcast, or emergency action plan. And the correct answer to that one is emergency action plan, or A. Then number 2, it says name 3 elements in an EAP. And then the third one is to name 3 types of emergencies. Number 4, the question is, what is the first step in an evacuation? The fifth one is, all exit doors need to be blank, and then all signs need to be blank. And then the last question is, what should the first person on the scene do?